Come on down to the Tiki Lounge, a little grass shack with a bamboo bar. It could be any island, maybe not too far. Exotic drinks we'd like you to try. Dance away the night at the Tiki Lounge. Welcome to Tiki Lounge. I'm Merrell Fankhauser, and on this show, we're doing an interview with Peter Lewis of Moby Grape. And I've got Peter with me right now. Glad to have you on the show today.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Yes, it is good to still be here, isn't it?
It feels good to be here.
Yeah. So when did Moby Grape first get formed?
Well, I think the story started when the first guy that played drums for the Jefferson Airplane got fired, and his name was Skip Spence. And he didn't leave the scene. He went and sort of was a protege of the manager that still managed the Jefferson Airplane at that time. And when I was in L.A., at the same time, I was playing in a band in L.A. with Bob Mosley, Joel Scott Hill, and a drummer. And the drummer had met Matthew Cates, the manager of the airplane, when he came to find another drummer to replace Skip for the Jefferson Airplane, you know. So he was back now, and he wanted to get a band for Skip, and so somehow we were practicing, and I looked at a guy who was leaning in the corner, dark-haired guy with a goatee, and kind of twisting his goatee and looking at us, you know. And so I didn't think much of it. Next day I got a call from the drummer, said, you know, Matthew really likes us. And I said, who's Matthew? And he said, the guy, you remember that guy with the beard? And I said, yeah. He said, well, he wants to meet in his apartment on Hollywood Boulevard. So we all went up there and talked to him, and he had a Jefferson Airplane album that he showed us. And then he talked about going to San Francisco, and I think everybody was kind of on the fence about it. But we talked, and later Joel just decided not to do it. And Bob Mosley and I and the drummer went and met Skip, and we got along. And then they didn't like the drummer. The drummer left. Bob called two friends of his that he'd played with in a band called the Frantics up there. They showed up, and we had a session one night, and it's like when you find the right people and
everything clicks.
Everything clicks, you know.
So where did Johnny Barbada come in the scene?
Well, Johnny was the drummer for Joel Scott Hill, right, that went and joined the Turtles, and then Joel got my drummer to join him, and that's kind of like. But first of all, I met Johnny and Lee Michaels before I met Joel, because they came to see me when I was playing in my gig at Gazzari's, and they asked me to sit in for Joel because he wasn't going to be there that Sunday, so I sat in for Joel. That was the first connection I had. So that's why I told you before, if I hadn't met Johnny Barbada, I'd have never gotten Moby Grape.
Amazing. Yeah. So again, my original question, what year was it that Moby Grape actually got together as a group?
It was the 66.
66. All right. Yeah, I was living up in the desert then in the Lancaster area, and I'd go down and play gigs on the Sunset Strip with my band, Merrell and the Exiles. So when did Moby Grape's first album come out?
In 67.
Yeah.
I think it was June of 67.
And the title of that album, Peter?
Just Moby Grape.
Okay, yeah, I remember the album. So then you guys just started playing everywhere probably after that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we played, we went on tour with the Mamas and Papas. But it was at a funny time when, music was changing so quickly in those days that, the Mamas and Papas were huge stars, and then something would happen that was just a little more edgy, and then that would become the more popular thing.
Yeah.
And
the Doors came along.
The Doors came along, or Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, Hendrix.
Right afterwards. So what I remember about the Mamas and Papas gig is that it was there was some tension there, and they didn't want to play right after us, so they had the Buckinghams, they put on their bill. But the deal was to play on an equal bill with them, which Clive Davis offered us. And so we just, in faith, so it's great, And they were bigger stars, but like I say, the thing at that point, you could be a star overnight if you just had something new. Right. That it wasn't like the folk rock anymore. Those days were sort of fading, and the days of, the peace and love thing was not popular. As more like off the pigs. And San Francisco represented that rebellious, more like not the Beatles, but like the Stones approach to life.
Exactly. And I started out when I was 17 in a surf band called the Impacts. They had an album on Delphi called Wipeout, and we thought, oh man, surf music is going to last forever. And then the British invasion happened, and like you just said, everything changed, and then they kept changing after that. So you've continued to play all of these years, and now you're living on the Central Coast, and I think that's really neat. And zooming forward to now, you're playing with your daughter.
That's right, and here she is.
Yes. Beautiful Arwen, come on in. And we're going to go to some Moby Grape songs that Peter brought us, and then Peter and Arwen are going to play live on the Tiki Lounge stage. So Arwen, when did you start playing guitar and singing and realize that you wanted a career in music?
Well, I went after it about 6 years ago. I always had this really determined thought that I was going to be a musician, but I always felt that it was too late, and I didn't pursue it in high school. I kind of played here and there piano, but I never really took it seriously. And then I graduated college, and at that point I figured I had just as much of a chance finding a job as something else as being a musician. So I asked my dad to teach me how to play and sing, and we started recording some ideas that I had for songs and that we had worked on together, and a few Moby Grape things as well. And then we sent them over to a producer in New York City named John DiNicola, and he decided he thought it would be a good idea to make an album of me singing Moby Grape songs.
Wow, that's a good idea. And wow, you did all of this in just 6 years. I mean, I find that amazing. It's taken me 50 years to get, all the recordings out, and it's just amazing.
Well, it's the beginning of a long journey,
Having your dad help has been a big help. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys and hearing you play today. So we'll show some of the Moby Grape videos, some of the vintage stuff, and then we'll go to the Tiki Lounge stage with Peter and Arwen.
Sounds great. Thank you, Merrell.
All right. Thank you both for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Didn't It Rain was an old Bible story set to the contemporary beat of today. A beautiful example of how religious music has always kept itself youthful by absorbing pop forms. Now, here's a new fusion of music that might be called country rock. Moby Grape from San Francisco is the group that mixes country and western flavor with a rockin' beat, bridging not only the generation gap, but the geography gap.
Well,
many rock groups with far-out names, but none of them can top our next guests, the Moby Grapes.
I can prove it is real. Don't fill my world with rain. You know your tears will only bring pain in my heart. 805. I guess you're leaving goodbye.
No chicken in the barn, pigs in the yard, no reason I should stay. Wishing that the one who brought me here went down to the crossroads in the early morning gray, when nobody else could see my tear. Heard that whistle blowing like an echo to my cries, ran across the open fields, hoping that I might have the courage to end my weary life underneath them driving wheels. And there I lay upon that railroad, wait for the end to come, far away from every failure that kept me tied to the place where I came from. I looked up and saw a stranger coming down the line with the look of one who understands, like he'd been through every danger existence could provide as he traveled all across his land. He smiled and he shook my hand, said his name was Jack, asked me where I might be bound. Couldn't think of what to tell him except anywhere but back as the evening sun was going down. We shared the day with a beggar's portion, wine enough to drink our fill, far away from crazy fortune, but the winds of change were with me still. So I took a ride to nowhere, like all the hobos do, running down that midnight train. After lying on that flat car for another day or two, trying just to ease my pain. How longer was I running from the future or the past, just bound to keep on keeping on. After I reached the blissful valley, wait for me at last, or I wound up dying all alone. Wanna hear no angel crying, I don't care, the devil laughs. Just wanna keep riding down that railroad without ever looking back. Just like Jack.
I was sitting by the window, watching for the rain. The reflection of your picture against my window pane. But just the same, I'm playing my game, and I guess you'll play at it too. Go ahead and play it on through. just the same. I'm playing my game, and I guess you'll play at it too. Go ahead and play it on through. The times we had together, it was sunny every day, and now it's cloudy every morning. It stays that way all day, and but just the same, I'm playing my game, and I guess you'll play at it too. Go ahead and play it on through.
Yes, I know it's falling.
Yes, I know.
Do you ever get the feeling your baby's gonna set you free?
Yes, I know it's
But she
falling.
tell you why it's overdue, you sit and wonder what it means.
Yes, I know.
You wanna tell us you'll be sorry, it'll happen for somebody new. Yeah, but all the time you know the pain is gonna fall on you. Forgot to make a payment, now they're gonna disconnect your phone.
Yes, I know it's
They're
falling.
paying much more, they're gonna try and repossess you.
Yes, I know.
But they're paying in the money, 6 months payment too. Yeah, but all the time you know the pain is gonna fall on you. You got the baby cheating, but you say you love her anyway.
Yes, I know it's falling.
All the time you wanna find a way to make her pay.
Yes, I know.
You wanna leave her broken hearted, the only thing you can do. Yeah, but all the time you know the pain is gonna fall on you. Yes, I know it's falling.
Yes, I know.
Yes, I know it's falling.
swim.